We are here to talk about Romantic Times book review for April 2006. And here is my co-host who's decided to neglect her duties today. She told me no. She just wants all my attention. She's been sitting on my keyboard, demanding attention. So anyways, here we are. April 2016. You back again? You just left. And naked guy on the cover. You know, I really thought that my piles for Flashback Monday would get bigger and bigger, bigger, because we were getting more current. They're getting smaller and smaller. Apparently, they did less and less books each month. And I didn't realize it. So, we always start with Regency. We always end with either Harlequin or erotica. And we'll take it from there. We always do 4 stars or better. I may do a boxing thing with Miss Foster. She has a whole boxing series. We may do that for an if then. My lighting. You remember these suckers? And the importance of a pencil when it comes to these. You know the importance of a pencil? Miss Bridgerton herself. And you know, they should do the Sinsters. They should do the Sinsters. You know it. The Sinsters would be better because there are more books. 9 books with the core family, and then the core family is extras in the future books. The Bastion Club, the Black Cobra, Quartet, the Buccaneers. The main characters are backup characters in that, so some of those people would be guest starring in future, like they'd be the starring role in the first one, but then they may be backup and secondary characters in the future books. So anyways, imagine my surprise when I had quite a few of these. I think I remember. But they are my authors. The Viscount Needs a Wife. Oops. 4.5 stars. Beverly has long captivated her readers with astute knowledge of the modes and morals of the Regency period. With her mature writing that takes on a sensitive subject about a young widow, a viscount in need of a wife, political intrigue, and a mystery that needs to be resolved. Yes! Love my mysteries! Gives it a little extra. That's why I don't like contemporary romances, because rarely do contemporary romances have a mystery in them. That Emily Henry book I read not too long ago, Book Lovers, I think it was. If they had just a little mystery in it, looking for doesn't even have to be a murder mystery. It could just be looking for a missing manuscript or trying to solve a puzzle. That book would have been so much better. Yeah, it's critically acclaimed, blah, 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 blah. Yep. But for us mystery lovers, if you wanted to appeal to a larger audience, add a little mystery, a little puzzle, or something to be solved. Not just character angst, because character angst is just, we gotta have something else. Let's see. This woman has too many names. Wait, what you call it? Mm, Jane Ann Krentz. I swear there's another one. I swear there's a third. And Amanda Quick. Till Death Do Us Part. 4.5 stars. Quick's latest showcased her capacity for creating romantic mysteries that evoke not only the atmosphere of the Victorian society, but the style of Gothic mysteries that were developed by the Victorians. Yet written in Quick's style, modern readers adore. Castalia Langley owns an exclusive introduction agency where reputable ladies and gentlemen meet for the purpose of companionship that may lead to marriage. However, she has become the target of an obsessive stalker. Nestor Kettering, a spurning suitor, may be the man sending her small gifts with initials all suitable for someone in mourning. Mystery writer Trent Hastings, concerned for his sister, brings him to the agency, and when Callista needs help identifying her stalker, she turns to Trent. As the pair pore over her client records for possible clues, they uncover a surprising attraction. You can't always get the marquise you want. 4 stars. The Masters of Seduction installment brings together the son and daughter of the previous characters in Romeo-Juliet theme story, sure to touch readers who adore the thought of happy ending for star-crossed lovers. Matthias Rock, A.K. Chan's Marquis of Lamb, isn't one to forego a fight or a challenge. So when he meets an enchanting lady in the forest, he believes he's going to enjoy wooing her. Lady Tempest is smitten with the handsome young man, but when she discovers he is the son of her family's sworn enemy, she feels she'll never see him again. But fate has much in store for them. Chance refuses to give up the chase and notes secret meetings and stolen kisses end in sweet seduction and dangerous passion. Of course, when I think of Alexander Hawkins or Karen Rainey, those two ladies, I think of Scotland, because that's their normal stuff, is to write about Scotland. And Carolyn Linden, 6 Degrees of Scandal, naked guy on the cover. 4 stars. Much to readers' delight, this scandalous installment featuring one of Linden's favorite characters, Olivia Townsend, and a second chance at love theme that warms readers' hearts. Following her husband Henry's death, Olivia Townsend finds herself nearly destitute and in need of a hero to help her rid herself of an unwanted suitor. Enter James Weston, the boy she adored as a girl. James is still guilty over leaving her with a broken heart, and he won't let her down again. He vows that together they will uncover whatever Lord Simon Clary believes Henry left Olivia. Instead, they discover their love never died. Because of Miss Bridgerton. 4 stars. Quinn is incomparable. The latest addition to her beloved Bridgerton series is funny, charming, witty, and wildly romantic. Everyone has expected the wild Thomish Billy Bridgerton to marry one of the Rokesby boys next doors. She could have her pick of the younger sons, just not George the heir. The brilliant Lord Kennard, after all, Billy thought him stuffy and arrogant, but he considered her outspoken and the least womanly woman of his acquaintance. But a chance encounter, a daring rescue, and several heated kisses later, we got love. Luck is no lady. Where did I just see that? There you go. 4 stars. Scandals definitely engages readers with this entry in her Fallen Lady series. Her lively plot, engaging characters, and heated love scenes make this a page-turner. Naked guy on the cover. Due to their deceased father's gambling debts, the Chadwicks are low on funds and deep in trouble with moneylenders. So Emma Chadwick does the unthinkable. She takes a position as a bookkeeper in a gambling hall. Roderick Bentley recalls the lovely young lady he met hiding in a dark room during a ball, and when she proves her ability with figures, he quickly hires her. He agrees to help Emma keep her employment a secret to maintain her reputation, but he didn't agree to protect her from himself. Alright, on to mainstream fiction. Just a second. Stay there, don't move. Mainstream fiction. Let's see here. What we find. 4.5 stars. The first book in Carl Sullivan's Crossing series gives readers the romantic story of two characters whose lives are ultimately in limbo. Maggie and Carl are such wonderfully developed characters with genuine insecurities. Their romance is a slow building as it should be, and is filled with a trifecta of smart, funny, and sexy dialogue. Some of the secondary characters are noteworthy as well, particularly Maggie's witty father and Tom the all-around handyman who's trying to raise 4 kids on his own. After being slapped with a malpractice suit, neurosurgeon Maggie Sullivan heads home to Sullivan's Crossing, where her estranged father lives and runs a general store. Soon after arriving, Maggie's father suffers a heart attack that causes her to extend her visit. While there, she meets a quiet and mysterious camper named Cal Jones, who doesn't think twice about helping out in the store without compensation. Maggie is suspicious of his motivation, but as she gets to know him, she finds herself falling for the rugged loner. Maybe he's a secret millionaire. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? I don't. This other book didn't show up. Let's see. This one I just saw. Okay. Jerry Eicher. Out of order. 4 stars. Each book in this brand new series will be a standalone. The storyline flows smoothly, and the vivid descriptions of people make them feel real. Aisha taught in both Amish and Mennonite schools and grew up in an Amish community. Thus, his knowledge and experience enhances his novels. Lida Troyer and her cousin Sandra Troyer are more like sisters. They share the same taste in almost everything, including their fondness for Ezra Wagler. They both want to marry him, but he is showing no interest in either of them. The cousin's best friend, Rosemary Bealey, is always on the sidelines, but she sees what's happening. She has had a secret crush on Ezra for a long time, but doesn't see she may have a chance with him. When the Troyers face financial woes, the cousins make a deal on who should get Ira and his affections. Okay. What does money have to do with it? Unless he's got money or something. No safe secret. This wonderfully written novel with characters who have reinvented themselves to forget their horrible upbringing to have a better life. Michael tackles hard to talk about events which happen more than we realize. Molly has a wonderful life. She married a successful dentist who has fancy cars, money to do what she wants, and a daughter about to graduate high school, but she had a hard childhood on an uncaring mother and a twin brother who treated her horribly. When she left Florida, she never looked back. It's starting to become difficult being married Tanner, as he is controlling and his sons treat her more like their personal maid than their stepmom. When her past comes to Golden Hills, her world is ripped apart and she is forced to confront the real problem. Don't know. I like happy endings. Don't you like happy endings? Um, Queen of Divas. 4 stars. The sixth book in Diamond Divas series takes violence to a whole new level. The warring gangs are kidnapped, murdered, and creating all-out mayhem in the streets of Ruby Cove. This terrifying saga keeps you turning the pages as you hope for the best but get the worst. The continuation of the stories of the Memphis street gangs told from different points of view. Queen Divas focuses on the female ride-or-die gangs, but the men are doing some serious damage with total gang exterminations. I don't know. Um, uh, um, we did the Karen Kingsbury. Oh, no, we didn't. Alright, inspirational. Brush of Wings. 4.5 stars. It is not easy to finish a series that has numerous subplots to discover. It is interesting to see the group of angels trying to help humans who are not aware they are having a divine intervention. Kingsbury peels back the layers of dimensions to allow readers to believe that angels are amongst us. 4.5 stars. Mary Catherine is determined to fulfill her dream of living in Uganda to help an orphanage. Despite her failing heart, she has not told anyone, including Marcus Dallinger, the ball player she's in love with, how serious her condition has come. The last thing she wants is pity. She wants to live her life to the fullest until the end. Marcus knows there's something amiss, but is unable to find out what. Unbeknownst to humans, there is a dedicated group of angels with all of them at all times. They have no doubt they will succeed in their mission. They have to, as there is an unborn child that needs to be delivered to shape the future of Mary, Catherine, and Marcus. I would love a child, but God took mine to heaven. Let's see. Beverly Lewis, Atonement. 4 stars. Yet another fine example of Lewis's skillful storytelling. Grief, volunteering, and atonement for past mistakes are key themes in her latest novel. Lucy is a determined character with a huge heart, making her an enjoyable heroine to root for. Lucy throws herself into volunteering in an attempt to quiet past mistakes which haunt her. She is the past typical courting age and feels unlovable. English Dale Weiss meets Lucy father Christian at a grief support group. Dale seeks advice from Christian on how to live a simpler life, as Dale does not trust someone of modern advances in society. As Lucy's unresolved grief continues to push her away from her family, Dale becomes closer to her father. Lucy's father inadvertently pushing Dale and Lucy together? Playing matchmaker, maybe? We'll see. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Alright. I didn't even look. Why do I think Wait a second. Okay, so got lots of pictures here. The Land of 10,000 Madonnas, Kate Hatmer. 4.5 stars. This book is phenomenal with its 6 totally different points of view. Hatmer's novel is an enthralling tale of sadness, wonder, and laughter. The cousins, best friends, and girlfriend of the recently deceased Jesse are grappling with his death. Jesse mysteriously set up a backpack trip through Europe for them to embark on as his dying wish. See what happens there. The Lost Half. Sadly, the Half-Bad trilogy comes to an end with this exciting installment that finally gives us a long-awaited closure. The alliance of free witches is sinking fast, and the only thing needed to cease the rule of Council of White Witches in England is Nathan Burns' missing half to Gabriel's amulet. Its power guarantees invincibility. The ledger, the amulet, and Nathan must journey to the witch's territory in America to convince her to hand it over. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. Gabriel wants Nathan to flee so they can find a peaceful life together. Let's see. Arena. Holly Jenkins. A nuanced and complex novel with strong and perfect heroine, a different approach to the rebel in a dystopian society trope. 4.5 stars. Kaylee Ling fights to the death on a weekly basis. The pain is real, even if dying part isn't. She's one of the top gamers in the Virtual Gaming League, and her team is a heavy favorite to win this year's tournament. For the players, their athleticism is important. Your physical abilities in the real world translate to the virtual one. Unfortunately, the drugs, drinking, and other destructive behaviors common among gamers are very real too. So those were your 3. And Lady Midnight. This book is outstanding as a standalone title and an addition to Claire's Shadowhunters universe. Claire includes new characters whom readers will instantly adore and old characters whom legions of fans already love. During the Dark War, Emma Carstairs lost her parents and was forced to grow up too soon. 5 years later, she's still looking for answers and picking up the pieces with her Parabati, Julian Blackthorne. When new members arise with circumstances similar to the death of her parents, Emma, the Blackthorns, and some new friends are on the case. See what happens there. You know, they put a full page ad in, but they don't review the book in this magazine. Oh, here's one I forgot. I don't know. Blood sacrifice. Sacrifice. I have a lot of her books over there, but I don't think I have this one. I'm going to do this one without a picture because it's so prevalent. The Glittering Court, Rochelle Mead. The Glittering Court is the first in a unique Elizabethan-inspired fantasy trilogy from me. Heresy, intrigue, identity theft, lies, and loads of romantic tension are just some of what readers will find in its pages. The Glittering Court is a finishing school that teaches lower-class girls how to be proper ladies of society. After finishing, the girls are taken to Colonial Story, a part of the New World, where male suitors are abundant and looking for wives. When 8-year-old Lady Whitmore becomes betrothed to her worst nightmare, she steals her maid's Adelaide Bailey's identity, securing a spot in the school and escaping her arranged marriage. But Caesar Thorne, son of the school's owner, knows her secret. And they spend more time together and fall in love. Where was that one? Let me go back here. I think I have missed one. Oh, here it is. The Decent Proposal. 4 stars. Donovan charms readers with the sweet West Coast rom-com that's rich with detail and unusual circumstances. Richard is a struggling film producer. Elizabeth is an attorney with an overly organized life. They don't know each other, but a wealthy benefactor promises them $1 million if they meet for 2 hours each week for a year. Crazy, but what do they have to lose? As they partake in Richard Coyne's The Decent Proposal, their lives intersect and unfold in a modern-day LA love story. Love and money. That was the theme song to that show. Showing my age with that show. Alright, they made a movie out of this. If you want to see a depressing movie, look how thick this is. But they did. They made a movie out of it. 4.5 stars. The intricate details in Balducci's explosive new novel, Until the Final Words, he's hit the pinnacle, traveling the Deep South and exploring its traditions. FBI wants to utilize former cop and NFL player Amos Dicker for his amazing memory skills. He becomes a member of a cold case team, but his main goal is to investigate a case involving one-time top NFL prospect Melvin Mars. Melvis gets reprieve from death row after Charles Montgomery confesses to the crime. When Montgomery's story begins to unravel, Mars is thrown back in prison. Bodies pile up, leading the team to believe there's more to the case. It was a depressing movie. Miss Scatterline, Most Wanted, 4.5 stars. Scatterline's latest is a page-turner filled with unpredictable twists. It's well-researched and educates the reader on infertility issues. And it will not be the book for me. Christine and Marcus tried for years to have a baby and are finally preparing to welcome their newborn, thanks to a sperm donor. Christine is startled to see Zachary Zefcoat on TV, and he looks exactly like their donor. Zachary's accused of being a serial killer. Thus, Christine begins to research the truth of donor number 3319. When the medical community slams the door in her face, she is forced to confront Zachary in order to learn the truth. Allison Brennan. Poisonous. In the latest Max Revere book, Max's baggage colors her attitude towards a puzzling new case and instills tension in their relationship with the assistant, David Kane, and her lover, Nick Santini. A letter from a developmentally challenged teen requesting that Max investigate the cold case of his stepsister's death brings Max and David to California. According to the police, Ivy Lake fell off a cliff, but was it an accident, suicide, or murder? An internet bully, Ivy made a number of enemies, but mostly alibis. Following Ivy's death, Tom Wallace has been forbidden by his stepmother to interact with his beloved younger stepbrother, Austin, and his half-sister Bella, because the stepmother suspects Tommy killed Ivy. Tommy figures that if Max solves the case, then he can rejoin the family. We're gonna do her soon. We're gonna do her on the channel. I've gathered up some of her books. Eva Gates, 4 stars. The book in the Fun Lighthouse Library Mystery Series continues to shine, illuminating characters, the authentic feel of life in a small town near the ocean to highlight the tale. Lucy Richardson works in a library inside a lighthouse and gets to live there along with Charles the cat. One night during a raging storm, she witnesses a boat that appears close to sinking. She alerts the Coast Guard, and they are successful in rescuing 2 passengers. The next evening during book group, the 2 visit and tell their tale. The following morning, Lucy is shocked to learn that one of the passengers has been murdered. So she goes to all the trouble to save them, and then someone kills them the next day. So maybe someone was trying to kill them in the first place. The Murder of Mary Russell. 4 stars. King uses multiple viewpoints and jumps in time and place to tell the story of Clarissa Hudson, Sherlock Holmes' faithful housekeeper. The writing is smooth and interesting and plot fascinating. Mrs. Hudson's history is completely unexpected and makes the book impossible to put down. Because Holmes and Russell are absent for long periods of the story, however, the readers might find themselves missing them. I did, and found myself rushing through some pages, wanting to get the present period of the story. On a rainy morning in Sussex, Mary Russell is straightening her desk, wishing Holmes would return from his task he was doing for Mycroft and expecting Claire Hudson's return from shopping. Then an unknown Australian knocks at the door. He is there to see Mrs. Hudson and seems to know the details about the household. He introduces himself as Mrs. Hudson's son, but Mary only knew Mrs. Hudson to have an Australian nephew. Soon she wonders if she really knew Claire Hudson at all. When Miss Hudson returns home from her shopping, the house is empty. There's a large pool of blood on the living room floor, along with the heavy smell of gunpowder. So what happened? What happened? We got pictures again. It saved a few dollars in purchasing. I probably have this one. I might even have this one. I just didn't look. I was a little lazy this week. I'm sorry. I apologize, but the pictures are here. Darkness, Karen Robards, 4 stars. Suspense Queen Robards brings her A-game to a newest, exciting, and suspenseful thrill set on a remote island off Alaska. Ornithologist Gina Sullivan is out in a small Zodiac track a pair of eagles as they fly around the coast of the island. With a heavy storm approaching, Gina decides to head back to shore when she hears a loud boom and sees a small jet crash into the sea. Amazingly, Gina spots a survivor and manages to pull Cal into the craft. As a private contractor working for the government, Cal's mission is secret and dangerous, and evidenced by his plane being hit by a missile. Since the shot came from Attu, Cal doesn't know if she can trust the woman who pulled him from the ocean. See what happens. Dark Hearts. 4.5 stars. Sala proves once again why she is the master in the romantic suspense genre. In the conclusion of her Secret and Lies trilogy, the killer is down to his last target, but the hero and heroine have experienced personal tragedy, and their well-seasoned author writes emotions with their skill and talent. The killer has finally gotten rid of the last witness to a crime committed more than 20 years ago. But there was another witness. Trina Jakes was in the car when the killer shot her mother. She was injured and rushed into surgery. Sam Jakes was woken up to the horrible news that his mother was murdered and his sister was in surgery. After being injured in the war, Sam walked away from Mystic, West Virginia, including his family and the love of his life, Lainey Pickett. As he heads back to help solve the murders, he sets out to try to fix things. Kenny? And Miss Roberts. And there's another Miss Roberts book coming out soon, in a month or so. So look for that probably on the January. I might get it in December, but it'll probably end up in January. And it'll be my time to bitch like crazy. Bitch, 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 bitch. And if you haven't seen my original bitching, go check out my original bitching. The Inheritance. I forget what the second title is, but the third title is The Rings, or the Seven Rings, and that's the final volume. And I tell you that Nora Roberts always writes in trilogies, and you should wait till all 3 books come out so you can binge read 1, 2, 3 in a row, so you have all the stuff in your head. But because the Inheritance, it's like one book broken into 3 parts. She doesn't even start obtaining the rings. She sees them, but she doesn't even start with obtaining them ones. So I guess it's not. She waits till this. I mean, it would seem kind of feasible that she would get 1 or 2 the first book, and then 1 or 2 the next book, and then the last couple the last book. But no, she's gonna get them all in the last book, and it was irritatingly frustrating. And I go off something terrible. So you should just watch those videos and look for the other one. Probably January, the way things are going. The Obsession, Nora Roberts. When it comes to mixing character drama, romance, and suspense, you are guaranteed an amazing ride whenever you pick up a Roberts book. On a dark night, when the nearly 12-year-old Naomi Bowes followed her father into the woods and discovered a monster, the fact that the monster was her father would forever change the lives of Naomi and her brother Mason. Naomi managed to rescue her father's most recent victim, but the trail of bodies connected to Thomas Bowes is horrifying long. So there are your 3 books again. And I'm gonna do another one. I never even thought about Heather. I never even thought about her. Is there a picture? I never even thought about it. I just spotted it. I'm like, oh, I could have gotten her. Yeah, I don't see. She would usually have a full page ad. Alright, we'll do Heather without a picture. Let me see if she's in top. Nope. She's not in top. Alright, let's just do Heather Graham. 4 stars. Flawless. I had this. I might have ordered it. It just seems so familiar. I'm sorry. Alright, let's just get back to it. Nope. Okay, Heather Graham, Flawless. Finnegan's on Broadway is the perfect hub for a story set in the vibrant New York City. Readers will be first drawn into the diverse characters of the Kernan family and kept interested by the suspense of solving the case. FBI agent Craig Fraser and his partner have been asked to help investigate a string of violent jewelry heists in New York City. He meets a criminal psychologist and a bartender, Finnegan, when she's taken hostage during one of the robberies. She was trying to return a valuable diamond that her brother and friend had stolen in a ridiculous plan to frame a cheating ex. See what happens there. And our last suspense one, Mary Burton, Vulnerable. 4 stars. Burton's latest centers on the youngest Morgan sibling, Georgia, as she develops into a case. Jake and Georgia's subtle yet heated attraction provides a good layer of tension to an already intense situation. Forensic tech Georgia Morgan is at a bar when Amber Ryder, a victim of cold case involving 2 missing teenagers, shows up to see Georgia. After interviewing Amber, Georgia and Detective Jake Bishop begin their detailed investigation. Though Jake rubs Georgia the wrong way, their attraction grows. Figures. One of those heated. Contemporary romance. The Second Chance Lady. Jill Chavez. Nobody But You. Chavez's third to her Cedar Ridge series is nothing but short of amazing. The lovely characters will find a place in your heart right away and stay there longer than expected as the romance readers devour their lovely, sexy love story. Special Forces Amy. I can't do that. Special Forces. Alright, let me try this again. Army Special Forces Officer Jacob Kincaid returns to his hometown of Cedar Ridge after an overseas mission fails and loses a friend. Colorado was always the place where he could center himself and feel at peace with the world. But when he meets Sophie Marin, he has a feeling he's going to need more than open sky and fresh air to de-stress. The only thing Sophie has ties her to her ex-husband, but Dr. Jacob's Pier, he's not entirely content with a stranger at the edge of his property, and she's not at all thrilled with being broke, divorced, and seasick half the time. She's living on a houseboat. Catherine Bybee, Doing It Over. Four stars. This brand new trilogy, most likely to base on a yearbook superlatives, kicks off with a novel that encourages you to root for the incredibly likable Melanie. Single mom and voted most likely to succeed, Melanie Bartlett returns to Riverbend for 10th class reunion. She feels a little funny admitting to her former classmates that she dropped out of college and is divorced, but her daughter Hope reminds her that life is beautiful. Mel's friends Joe and Zoe are ecstatic that she's returning to Oregon to take on a job at the local bed and breakfast. Things are starting to look up. Then she meets contractor Wyatt Gibson, who loves the quaint town and immediately takes a liking to Mel. The Trouble with Scotland. Patience Griffin, 4 stars. A wonderful, cozy story with just the perfect amount of humor to balance the tearful, sentimental moments. Sadie Middleton's life isn't going as planned. Fortunately, she has her grandmother Gigi and their love of quilting as their companions. When the pair win a contest for all expense trips paid to Kilts and Quilts retreat in Scotland, it's like a dream come true. But when Gigi passes away before they can go, Sadie's grief nearly prevents her from taking the trip. When she arrives, the charming circle of quilters give her comfortable reminders of her grandmother, and the attention of attractive fishermen helps too. Oh, that's depressing as all hell. That's just depressing. That's just depressing as all hell. Okay, sci-fi. Let's see. Let's try those three. Fellside, Emma or Carrie, 4.5 stars. As it seems like Carrie is going to have trouble making two strains of a story cohere. The woman who can enter the world of dreams and maybe see ghosts, and the gritty prison-based drama, but by the end, via some skillfully twisted crackerjack plotting, fine characters work, a willingness not to pull punches, Fellside builds to a climax that's both satisfying and worked out shockingly emotionally intense. Between the heroine and her injuries, Jess Molson doesn't remember setting the fire that ruined her face and killed the 10-year-old boy upstairs, but she can't bring herself to disagree with the crowds baying for her blood. She must be guilty. She goes to privately run Fellside Prison, a maximum security prison on the outskirts of the Yorkshire moors, fully intending to spend the rest of her life within the walls. But then shadows of a boy begins to haunt her dreams. Now she might actually be able to redeem herself if any of the hideous corrupt elements that really run her cell block don't get to her first. Mm-mm. In the Labyrinth of Drakes, 4 stars. Brennan brings her expansive imagination and quick wit to her 4th installment in the Memoirs by Lady Trent series. Lady Trent escapades in the desert of Achaia may have come the stuff of legends. Only her closest confidants know the truth of that expedition, or the realities behind the gossip that has swirled around this particular point in her life. But now Lady Trent is revealing all, including how she secured a position with the Royal Army and how she braved numerous dangers and deceptions in order to reach the legendary Labyrinth of Drakes. Okay. Every Heart a Doorway. Sean McGuire. In this moody, atmospheric novella, McGuire doesn't give us a haunted school, she gives us haunted students. Each of Eleanor West's charges discovered their true place through doorways into strange, terrible, and beautiful worlds. At Eleanor Witt's home for the wayward children, the offbeat pupils share a common affliction. Each has entered a unique doorway in a different world. For each, the other world felt like where they truly belong. Now cast out of those worlds and forced back into our drab reality, they are unable to cope with their former lives, longing to return to their real homes. Hmm. Yeah. Alright. On to Paranormal. Shelley Lawrence done Undoing. Naked guy on the cover. 4.5 stars. In the mood for mystical mayhem? Then Lawrenston has just the book for you, as she dishes up second installment of her Norse melody-inspired Call of the Crow series. After being murdered by her cult leader husband, Jace Berisha, accepted the Norse goddess Skull offer to become an avenging crow. However, Jace punishes the unworthy. However, there is a small complication of her berserker rage. Ski is a protector working for the god Tyr and is generally a peaceful, loving guy. When his group rescues a bunch of Russian books during a crow raid, they need someone to translate the books to uncover their significance. Mm-hmm. Don't know. Ah, I stared at my shelves for 10 minutes waiting for this one to appear. It didn't. It's like, but I have all the Ashleys over there. But not this one. The White Tiger. Naked guy on the cover. Multi-talented fan favorite Ashley is back with her 8th Shapeshifters Unbound novel, a fast-paced adventure that is sure to draw fans and newcomers alike. Ever since losing his mate, Kendrick has devoted himself to his role as guardian to the uncollege shifters in his area, who are forced to live in secret. When he is driven into hiding, he is desperate to protect his cubs and those still loyal to him. His hopes unexpectedly rest on Addison, a diner waitress whose smile has captured his heart. Aww. I don't know. I dream of dragons. Naked guy on the cover. Chase brings dragons and other mythical creatures to life in this fun story with leprechauns, witches, and vampires, and Mother Nature herself. Rory Arish and his 2 sisters are run out of their home in Ireland by a group of leprechauns accusing them of stealing their pot of gold. With nowhere to go, they decide to head to America and land in Boston. While looking for a place to live, they find another dragon who knows a place that assists supernaturals. They are in luck and find 2 apartments, but as they go to pay for them, they find out at the same time they were paying for the apartments, another person was signing the lease on one of them. The race is on. Flight attendant Modern Muse Amber McNally has been evicted, but luckily has found a great apartment. Things seem great until she learns it was being rented at the same time she was signing the lease. Getting a little bit of a deja vu. So 2 sets of people, 2 separate sets of people were signing a lease at the same time. So, hypothetically speaking, maybe the owner was signing a lease for Group A, and maybe the manager was signing with Group B. Don't know. Alright. And Miss McAllister, if you haven't done Queenie, do the Queen ones. What's her face? McAllister wraps up her Dragonfall series in humor style by introducing final Dakar sibling Rowan. Widow Sophia Longs needs money, so she has agreed to escort elderly Miss P to Cairo for a Nile River cruise. Corralling this kleptomaniac octogenarian is proving to be quite the task, especially as strange men seem to be stalking them. Dare Sophia trust a different stranger, sexy Rowan Dakar? Rowan has tasked by the dragons to retrieve a magical ring that Mrs. P stole from the demon Belle. Sophia is a dragon mate. Rowan is confused by her complete ignorance of dragons. The problem is Sophia's dragon husband was killed the day they got married, so poor Sophia is in the dark. She doesn't know a thing. Don't know. Don't know. Put that back on the shelf. And on to Harley Quinn. We actually have a Harley Quinn in our midst today. We will do our little Harley Quinn. Oops, I passed it. I passed it. Do you know there's a Harley Quinn for everything? Harley Quinn for cowboys, Harley Quinn for sports, Harley Quinn for race car, Harley Quinn for doctors, cops, firemen, cowboys, sheiks, billionaires. There's a Harley Quinn for everything. This came my way, so I just thought I would include it. Tonight, Nana Malone and Sienna Minx. In City of Sin, Tristan Dawson would rather carve out his own destiny than get by on his name alone. Cynthia Michael spends her life at the office or with sisters she's putting through college. When the two are paired up to research a hotel in Vegas, both finally agree to act upon their lust for the weekend. Both characters are well-rounded and expertly developed, and their strengths and vulnerabilities are on full display. In Shipwreck, Deja Jones and John Hendricks meet when her sister and his brother get married. After sharing a hot kiss in an elevator, their busy careers keep them apart for 2 years. When they are finally reunited, John seeks to learn all he can about Deja. More focus is placed on the events of the story as opposed to the characters. Okay, so that's why it only got 3 stars. But anyways, there's that. And that is the end of... Oh, look. There we go. Well, there's some more. I just wanted to show the books that have driven me bonkers. And I tell you, it'll probably be January when the review comes up on the channel. But these are the 2 books I was talking about earlier. The Inheritance and the Mirror. The new one comes out November. And read all 3 of them together. First, second, and third. The Rings, I think it's called. But it's enough to drive you bonkers. 1806, Adria Granville is now Astra Pugh, beautiful in her bridal clothes and overwhelming with love for her brand new husband. But before her marriage can be consummated, she is murdered. The circle of gold is torn from her finger. Her last words are a promise to Colin to never leave him. Present day, Sonia McTavish is stunned to learn that her late father had a twin he never knew about, and her newly discovered uncle Colin Paul has left her everything he owned, including a majestic Victorian house on the Maine coast. The will stipulates she must live in it for 3 years, having just dumped her cheating fiancé and left her job to start her own graphic firm. She finds it a perfect opportunity to start fresh. She also wants to find out why the boys were separated at birth and why it was all kept a secret until a DNA match on a genealogy website brought it to light. But she's got to get the rings. She's got to get the rings. The stories are connected. It's like 3 books divided into separate... 1 book divided into 3 separate parts. So... check it out. Probably January. It might show up in December. We'll see how big my Christmas pile is. My Christmas pile is huge. There's like 10 authors that are going to be under my Christmas tree. So January just might be a new year with new books. That's what we should call it. I should remember that. Somebody write that down for me. A new year with new books. Have a good one. And we only got May, June, July. That's it. That's all that's left of Flashback Monday. Then I got some ideas on how to... We may go back a little bit, and then we're going to go forwards. But we're going to go back first, and then we're going to go forwards. If that makes any sense. Don't forget to check out If Then Fridays. Hey, those search engines really, really suck. So if you're If you like this author, then maybe you like that one. If you like homicides or vampires or forensics or dragons or witches or ghosts or detectives or men in kilts or pirates that make you swoon or cozy Thanksgiving or cozy Christmas or cozy Halloween or cozy Easter or cozy Lucky Charms or cozy Valentines or new beginnings or second chances. They're all in all those if thens. There's probably 90 plus if thens now. And Flashback Monday. And don't forget our Voyager recaps on Fridays, unboxings on Sunday. I never know what's in those boxes. I just don't know. They're just dropped off, and we go through them together. And then we divide them up and deliver them to the different charities. I do not keep those books. I don't. I have no, normally, and if one of my authors shows up, I usually already have it. And usually a better copy too, so see what happens there. I got a book to finish to read. I got a couple of book videos to do maybe later. And don't forget starting at Christmas, after we finish Saturday Sinsters, we're gonna start JD Robb Saturdays. And we're gonna read my comfort books. All next year. There's over 60 of them. So they'll continue into 2027. There's enough JD Robb books to go around. So please hit the like and subscribe. I often forget to say that, but it's really, really important that you hit the thumbs up. There's 2,000 videos over there. If you could just go through them all, take a few minutes, and just hit the like on all of them, or subscribe, or view them all for a minute apiece. Pull up a video, mute it, lower it, let it play out. Just kidding. Just hit the like and subscribe. Maybe you'll find something like to read. My videos have helped me find stuff to read. Because, I forget what I did a year ago, so I have to pull out my D. Louise book series, If Then. And, oh, yeah, there's that one. Did I cover this? Oh, no, I didn't cover some of these books. Let me do this one again. Let me update it. Let me add some new books to this. So, look forward to those, too. And my sleeping co-host over here. Have a good one.